All right, here's our sampling distribution question, and you can see how I have that hand holding I kept telling you I would provide on this question. So first thing I did is said, let's describe the distribution of the proportion in a sample that have an organ donor card. So either you're going to your note card or you're at least going to your formula sheet, and we have this whole section on this distribution for a proportion, right? So we know what the mean and the standard deviation would be, and we can grab them straight from this section of the sheet, making sure we don't move around into other parts, okay? So I'm just going to write down mu of p hat was equal to p. Standard deviation of p hat was the square root of pq over n. Notice I didn't even read the question yet. Two pieces I already know here. P hat follows an approximate normal. Whatever thing is here is going to go in front of the line. That's what we're talking about. All samples, their proportions should fall in this approximate normal distribution. And approximate normality is a good guess if you're completely lost. This is only true if we have SRS and dependence in less than 10% of the population, and that rule of thumb, NP and NQ being greater than or equal to 10. And then we can read the beginning of the question. It said, suppose it is known that 61% of American adults have an organ donor card. So they've given us real P. And then a random sample of 200 is looked at. So now we have everything we need. We know that the mean is just 0.61. I'll throw that in there. Standard deviation, 0.61. Q, just 1 minus P, 0.39. All over that, 200. Sample size, let's see what that is. Looks like we have 0.0345 for our standard deviation. Now remember, the whole point of this is to make the next question easier. So the next question says, find a probability. And we're going, okay, probabilities typically mean area under the normal curve, typically mean normal CDF. We know our normal curve is centered at 61.61 because that's what we have here as our mean. And we want the probability of more than 50%. So 50% will be somewhere here. More than means we want area to the right. Biggest distraction here is students look at the percentage and think we're being given an area under the curve, when because we're looking for a probability, we're not given an area under the curve. That's what we're looking for, and that 50% is actually a cutoff down here in our proportion land. So for our normal CDF, our lower bound is 0.5, our upper is E99, and our mean and standard deviation come from the question up above. So we just need to type all that into our calculators and we are done. That is this question. This is a question that a lot of students tend to miss, which is why I've gone and always put this little helper section on there by asking you for the distribution ahead of time. It doesn't typically help. It's still one of the most missed questions on the exam, but there it is.